Petronas asked me after I die, how would I like to be remembered? And I said, I want them to remember Sepet, Talent Time, Muksin. I want them to remember my work. If they forget who did it, it doesn't matter. In fact, it's better.
Nama saya Yasmin Ahmad. Saya buat iklan dengan buat filem dan tulis skrip. My parents encouraged me to play with my imagination ever since I was small. My first real commercial that I wrote was Surat Khabar Lama. Tahu tak? Surat Khabar Lama, all newspaper, gula-gula tu kan. So benda tu jadi famous menang award. Then one day Petronas ni I tulis skrip. Tak ada orang nak direct tau. Dia untuk Merdeka. So terpaksa kan nak buat iklan ni kan. So I direct sendirilah. Kata cuba ada tengok macam mana orang direct sikit kan. So I did it myself. It was iklan kasut gombak. Ada tengok tak? My mum said to me before I started to work, two things. Number one, don't fear people who are above you. Don't look down on people who are below you. Number two, she says, whatever you're doing, do your best, have fun, give it passion. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're washing the toilet, do that and you have the cleanest toilet and take pride in it. Doesn't matter what you do. I said, can I be the best as a housewife? She said, shut up. I said, give you your best.
I think we should have started in August 31st, 1957 lah. Never mind, 52 years later, at least it's good that somebody put this thought, One Malaysia. I think I've been talking about it for 20 years in my commercials and in my films and in my writings. So when they came up with One Malaysia, I thought, yeah, the fella copy me. They say I'm unique because I show different races. But for me, if I point my camera anywhere in Malaysian streets, I will see different races. So I don't understand how Malaysian Chinese movies, they only show Chinese people. And Malaysian Malay movies, they only show Malay people. For me, it's like, but our country is not like that. Yes, of course, because parents teach the children, number one. Number two, parents vote for governments. So parents are absolutely responsible for everything. Oh. Two things only. Anyone can direct a film. You point a camera at some people, you ask them to say some words, you have directed a film. But he said to be a good film director, you need to do two things. Number one is to knead, K-N-E-A-D, to knead and massage the story until it's powerful. Number two, casting. Pick the right casting. He says if you do get these two things right, the film will direct itself. But of course, that's easier said than done.
And that's how I've measured everything in my life. I think in every person's life, we come to 100 crossroads every day. And the choice is between these two only. The choice is between showing compassion and mercy and love, or showing hatred, no compassion and no mercy. I've never voted in my life, and definitely now I'll never vote again. I don't even vote. Sentimental. Nabokov says that he who dismisses the sentimental doesn't understand what sentiments are. Fairness, good, justice. These are sentiments. Protecting the weaker. These are sentiments. Not just I love you and do you want to go to the back room? Those are sentiments too, but these bigger issues are all based on human sentiments. And I think that if you fear compassion and mercy, and dare I say it loud, then this is a very sick society. And in the Tao Te Ching, my second favorite book of all time, and the Zen Buddhists, they basically say, empty yourself. And even Buddha says, you know, learn to let go. It is the key to happiness. So you gotta let go. Whatever you create, even Steve Jobs and whoever who has ever created anything great, basically forgot themselves and said, I'm just gonna observe what is needed. I'm gonna observe God's creations, or things in the Tao, and just be servant to it. And then suddenly you become bigger. I try to say, no, this is a journey that was put before me. I just do what I thought I was supposed to do. Manusia merancang, tapi Allah yang menentukan. So if it's meant to be seen, it will be seen. If it's not, it's not. It's okay. Such hypocrisies are not unique to Islam, to Muslims. Everybody has such hypocrisies. You know, I introduced Muslims in my film because I'm a Muslim and I'm familiar with Muslim family and what we do. So that is my palette. I cannot run away from it. I cannot suddenly pretend to make. But I want to ultimately, within the first 10 minutes of the film, you forget that they're Muslim or they're Malays. They're just a bunch of people with some problems with their lives. And I hope that you forget that. You reminded it, but in the end they're about people. I want my films not to be about race or about politics or about anything. Ultimately they're about humanity. When I look at my films, I know filmmakers who after they make a film and they go like, I'm dissatisfied with this. I wish I'd done better. I'm like, me is different. I see a film and go like, hey, we make this up. Wow, you know, we're such idiots. How can we come up with this thing? Somebody says, will you ever stop making love stories? And I said to them, all films, all stories are love stories. Because you know, I'm just grateful that we could do this. Because, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just surprised we could cross it. People have called me un-Islamic lah, I mean, there are sometimes people who are who read a little bit about the religion, in all religions, Catholic, Protestants, Muslims, Jews. They always think that the more people I send to hell, the more chances I can go to heaven.
Chase the chickens.
Then we leave one rooster there and you go, Mohsen may have left, but he left his cock. Sometimes I have people who accost me, total strangers, and say to me, I would like to be in one of your films, would you consider me? And I always tell them I do not create stories around actors. Rather, I find actors to suit the story. So it all begins with the story.
I learned that in order to be part of miracles, you have to remove your ego. So you have to be Wu.
Well, love is about finding ways to forgive people, because by forgiving, you will feel forgiven.
I think Arwah has done so much good to the country. Then what did she do? She's very generous.
Somebody once asked me after I die, how would I like to be remembered?
Yes.
And I said, I want them to remember Sepet, Talentime, Muksin. I want them to remember my work. If they forget who did it, it doesn't matter. In fact, it's better.